The Charisma Code, Developing an Irresistible Presence in Any Environment, a motivational audiobook by Astrian. Before we start, if you ever feel like you are walking through fog alone, hit subscribe and let these audiobooks be your quiet companion through every season. Have you ever watched someone walk into a room and instantly light it up? You know the type. They don't seem to be doing anything special, yet everyone wants to talk to them, laugh with them, and be near them. For the longest time, we have been told that these people are just lucky. We think they were born with a special gene that the rest of us don't have. We assume they are naturally confident, naturally funny, and naturally magnetic. But what if I told you that this is the biggest lie we have been sold? What if everything you believe about charisma is keeping you from unlocking your own power? The truth is far more exciting, and it changes everything you thought you knew about yourself. Charisma is not a mystery. It is not a magic spell. It is simply a set of skills, a code that anyone can learn, practice, and master. And the best part, you already have all the tools you need inside you right now. This book is your personal guide to breaking that code wide open. We are going to toss out all the complicated theories and confusing advice you have heard before. Instead, we are going on a journey together, step by simple step, to uncover the version of you that has been waiting to come out. Imagine walking into any room, a party, a meeting, a first date, and feeling completely at home. Imagine speaking with such genuine warmth that people lean in, eager to hear what you have to say. Imagine leaving every conversation feeling like you connected on a real level, not just exchanged words. This is not about becoming someone you are not. It is about clearing away all the doubts, fears, and awkward habits that have been covering up the real you. Get ready to switch on your light, because the world is waiting to see you shine. Chapter 1: The Warmth Switch, Why People Feel Safe Around You. Have you ever met someone who just felt like a cozy blanket on a cold day? You don't know why, but being around them makes your shoulders relax and your smile come easily. That feeling is not accidental, and it is not based on how famous or successful the person is. It is a specific signal they are sending out, a signal that says, "You are safe here." Most of us walk around with our guard up, worried about being judged, and we accidentally send the opposite signal. We look busy, serious, or distracted, and people pick up on that in an instant. They feel our tension, and it makes them tense too. The first secret to unlocking your charisma is understanding that warmth comes before anything else. Before people can admire you, they must first feel comfortable with you. Before they can follow you, they must first trust you. This chapter is your guide to flipping that switch from cold to warm, effortlessly and naturally. The amazing news is that warmth is not a personality trait you are stuck with. It is a behavior you can practice, just like learning to ride a bike or cook a new recipe. It starts with something incredibly simple that most of us forget to do. We need to slow down. When we rush, our energy becomes frantic and scattered, and it pushes people away. When we slow down, even just a little, our presence becomes calm and inviting. Think about the difference between someone who is rushing past you and someone who stops to truly greet you. The rusher makes you feel like an obstacle, while the greeter makes you feel like a destination. Your goal is to become the greeter, the person who makes others feel like they matter in that moment. This shift in pace alone can change how the entire world responds to you. Another key part of warmth is something your grandmother probably taught you: smile with your eyes, not just your mouth. A fake smile only uses the mouth, and it looks like a polite mask. But a real smile, the kind that reaches your eyes, is impossible to fake. People feel seen when you give them this smile. It tells them that you are genuinely happy to see them, not just going through the motions. This small adjustment can transform a boring hello into a moment of real connection. When you practice this, you will notice people start smiling back at you more. It becomes a beautiful cycle of positive energy between you and everyone you meet. You are essentially giving them permission to relax and be themselves, which is the greatest gift you can offer another human being. Warmth also means putting down the armor we all carry. We often hide behind our phones, our crossed arms, or our serious faces because we think it makes us look important. In reality, these barriers just make us look unapproachable. Think about it this way. Would you walk up to someone who is staring at their phone with a frown? Probably not. But would you approach someone who is standing with open posture and a soft gaze? Absolutely. The way you hold your body sends a loud message before you even say a word. By choosing to open up your body, you are silently inviting people into your world. You are telling them, I am available for connection. This vulnerability is not weakness. It is actually your greatest strength when it comes to building instant rapport. Now let's talk about something called the after you attitude. Warm people are not trying to push their way to the front of the line. They are not interrupting or trying to prove how smart they are. Instead, they operate from a place of quiet respect. They hold the door, literally and figuratively. They let the other person speak first. They ask a question before making a statement. This does not mean being a pushover. It means showing that you value the other person's presence. When you adopt this attitude, people naturally lower their defenses. They stop seeing you as a competitor and start seeing you as an ally. And in that space of allyship, true connection is born. You become the person they want to confide in and spend time with. Finally, remember that warmth is a practice, not a performance. You don't have to be perfect at it, you just have to be present. Some days you will be tired and your warmth switch might flicker, and that is completely okay. The goal is not to be on all the time. The goal is to build a habit of connection that becomes more natural with each interaction. Start small. Today, try giving one person your full, warm attention. Put your phone away, look them in the eye, and genuinely smile. Notice how they react, and more importantly, notice how it makes you feel. You will likely find that spreading warmth makes you feel warmer inside too. It is the kind of gift that keeps on giving, to others and to yourself. Chapter 2. The Confidence Mirror: Seeing the Best Version of Yourself. Before we go any further, we need to have an honest talk about the elephant in the room. You cannot give people something you do not have for yourself. If you want others to believe in you, to be drawn to your energy, you must first believe in you. This is where most people get stuck. They think, I'll be confident once I get the promotion, lose the weight, or buy the nice clothes. But confidence does not work that way. It is not a reward you get after you achieve something. It is the fuel you need to achieve anything in the first place. Confidence is simply the habit of treating yourself like someone you love and respect. It is the quiet voice inside that says, I've got this, even when things get messy. This chapter is about building that voice until it becomes louder than your doubts. Think of your confidence like a muscle in your body. If you never go to the gym, that muscle stays weak and flabby. But if you work on it regularly, it grows strong and reliable. The same is true for your self-belief. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build confidence. Every time you try something new and survive, you build confidence. Every time you look in the mirror and choose to see your strengths instead of your flaws, you build that muscle. It is 1,000 small choices, not one big magical moment. You have to practice being on your own team. You have to become your own biggest fan, not your harshest critic. This shift in mindset is the foundation that your entire charismatic presence will be built upon. Here is a secret that will change everything. Other people see you the way you see yourself. If you walk into a room thinking, I don't belong here, your body will broadcast that message loud and clear. You will shrink, avoid eye contact, and speak quietly. People will pick up on that energy and they will treat you like you don't belong. But if you walk into that same room thinking, I have something valuable to offer, your entire presence shifts. You stand taller, you breathe easier, and you radiate a quiet sense of worth. People will pick up on that too, and they will treat you like you matter. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. You get to choose which prophecy you want to live out. You are the author of this story, so start writing a good one. We also need to tackle the monster of comparison. In the age of social media, we are constantly shown highlight reels of everyone else's lives. We see their vacations, their awards, their perfect families, and we feel small. But here is the truth you must remember. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it is also the thief of charisma. When you compare yourself to others, you step out of your own energy and try to borrow theirs. It never works. You are not meant to be them. You are meant to be a better version of you. The most attractive people in the world are not the ones who are perfect. They are the ones who are fully comfortable in their own skin, quirks and all. Your unique path, with all its bumps and detours, is what makes you interesting. Stop looking left and right and start looking forward on your own road. Another powerful tool for building confidence is something called positive self-talk. Most of us have a non-stop inner critic that points out every mistake we make. You are so awkward. Why did you say that? They probably think you are weird. Imagine if your best friend talked to you that way. You would stop being friends with them immediately. So why do you let yourself talk to you that way? It is time to fire that inner critic and hire a new inner coach. When you make a mistake, try saying, "It's okay, everyone messes up. What can I learn from this?" When you feel nervous, say, "This feeling just means I care, and that is a good thing." By changing the conversation you have with yourself, you change your entire emotional state, and a person who is kind to themselves is irresistible to others. Finally, remember that confidence is quiet. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. The loudest person in the room is often the most insecure, desperately seeking validation. True confidence is a calm, steady presence. It is knowing your worth without needing anyone else to confirm it. As you go through this chapter and practice these ideas, focus on building that quiet strength inside you. Stand in front of the mirror and look yourself in the eye. Say something kind. Acknowledge how far you have come. You are a work in progress, and that is beautiful. When you truly see the best version of yourself, you give others permission to see it too. And that is when the real magic begins. Chapter 3. The Listening Superpower, Making Others Feel Like the Only Person in the Room. We live in a world that has forgotten how to listen. Everyone is so busy thinking about what they are going to say next that they completely miss what is being said to them now. We nod along while scrolling on our phones. We offer advice before we even understand the problem. We interrupt with our own stories, trying to relate, but actually stealing the spotlight. In this noisy, distracted world, the person who truly listens becomes a rare and precious treasure. Think about it. When was the last time someone gave you their complete, undivided attention? How did it feel? It probably felt amazing, like you were the most important person on earth. That feeling is not a coincidence. It is the result of someone using their listening superpower. And this superpower is available to you right now for free. Listening is not just about keeping your mouth shut while the other person talks. That is just waiting. Real listening is an active, energetic process. It is about tuning into the other person's frequency and hearing not just their words, but their emotions, their fears, and their dreams. It requires you to quiet your own mind completely and become a safe container for their thoughts. When you listen this way, something incredible happens. The person speaking feels a sense of relief. They feel understood, perhaps for the first time in a long time. They relax into the conversation because they sense that you are not judging them or waiting to jump in. You are simply there with them. This creates a bond that is deeper and faster than any clever line ever could. One of the best techniques to become a super listener is to practice what I call listening for the gold. In every conversation, people drop little hints about what really matters to them. Maybe they mention their love for painting, or their worry about a family member, or their excitement about a new hobby. Most of us let these golden nuggets fly right by because we are too busy with our own thoughts. But a super listener grabs onto them. When you hear one of these hints, you ask a follow-up question. You mentioned you love painting. What do you like to paint? This simple question tells the other person, "I heard you, and I care about what you said." It makes them feel valued. It turns a surface-level chat into a meaningful connection. Another key is to resist the urge to fix everything. When someone shares a problem with us, our instinct is often to jump in with solutions. We want to help, we want to be useful. But most of the time, people are not looking for advice. They are looking for validation. They just want to be heard and understood. If your friend tells you they are having a rough day, they don't need you to list 10 ways to fix it. They need you to say, "That sounds really hard. I'm sorry you are going through that. By holding back the advice and simply offering empathy, you become a true companion. You become the person they can always come to when life gets heavy. That is a powerful position to hold in someone's life. Your body also plays a huge role in listening. You can say all the right words, but if your body is shouting, "I'm bored," the person will feel it. To show someone you are truly listening, lean in slightly. Turn your body to face them fully. Put your phone away, face down where you cannot see it. Nod occasionally to show you are following along. These small physical cues create a container of safety and attention. They tell the other person, for this moment, nothing in the world matters more than you. That feeling is intoxicating. It makes people want to be around you. It makes them remember you long after the conversation is over. You become associated with the good feeling of being truly heard. Finally, remember that listening is a gift you give yourself too. When you stop worrying about what to say next, you release a huge amount of social pressure. Conversations become easier because you are not performing. You are simply receiving. You learn fascinating things about people you might have otherwise overlooked. You discover common interests and hidden depths in the people around you. Your world becomes richer and more interesting simply because you chose to open your ears and close your mouth. Practice this today. In your next conversation, try to listen twice as much as you speak. Notice how the other person lights up. Notice how easy the conversation flows. You have just unlocked one of the most powerful tools in the entire Charisma Code. Chapter 4: Eyes That Speak, the Art of the Connective Gaze. They have always said that the eyes are the windows to the soul, and there is a reason that saying has lasted for centuries. Your eyes broadcast your true feelings faster than any words ever could. They can show warmth when your voice sounds tired. They can show interest when your body is still. They can show confidence when your hands are shaking. Yet most of us are terrified of real eye contact. We glance away quickly, we stare at the floor, we look at the TV over someone's shoulder. We do this because looking into someone's eyes feels intimate, and intimacy can be scary. But if you want to unlock your irresistible presence, you must learn to be comfortable in this beautiful, vulnerable space. Your eyes are a tool for connection that is more powerful than any words in your vocabulary. Let's clear up a common misunderstanding right away. Connective gaze is not a starring contest. It is not about locking eyes with someone so intensely that they feel uncomfortable and look away first. That is not connection, that is aggression. The art of the connective gaze is softer, warmer, and more natural. It is about holding someone's gaze just long enough to acknowledge them, to let them know you see them, and then gently looking away for a moment before returning. Think of it like a dance. You look, you hold, you release, you return. This rhythm creates a feeling of safety and mutual respect. It says, "I am interested in you, but I also respect your space." Mastering this rhythm is like learning a secret language that everyone understands on a deep, instinctual level. One of the biggest mistakes people make is looking away too quickly. When your eyes dart away the moment someone looks at you, you send a signal. You are telling them, "I am nervous," or "I don't like you," or even "I am hiding something." None of these messages are helpful when you are trying to build charisma. Instead, practice holding the gaze for just one extra second. When you feel the urge to look away, fight it for just a moment longer. That extra second is where the magic happens. It is in that moment that the other person feels truly seen. It is in that moment that a spark of real connection ignites. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but with practice, it will become your new normal, and people will respond to you differently without even knowing why. Your eyes can also do something incredible. They can smile. We talked about this briefly in the warmth chapter, but it deserves its own spotlight here. A genuine smile reaches your eyes, creating little crinkles at the corners. This is called a Dutchen smile, and it is the universal sign of true happiness. You cannot fake it. When you look at someone with smiling eyes, you are giving them a gift of pure, honest warmth. Practice this right now. Think of something that makes you truly happy, like a beloved pet or a funny memory. Notice how your eyes feel different. Now, try to bring that feeling into your next interaction. When you greet someone, let your eyes light up with that happiness. They will feel it instantly, and it will make their day. Another powerful technique is to pay attention to where you look when you are thinking. Many people look up at the ceiling or down at the floor when they are searching for a word. This breaks the connection and makes you seem unsure. Instead, practice keeping your gaze soft and steady, even as you think. You can look slightly to the side but keep your face pointed toward them. This shows that even while you are gathering your thoughts, you are still engaged with them. You are not leaving the conversation mentally. This subtle habit makes you appear more thoughtful and present. It tells people that your thinking process includes them, rather than excluding them. Finally, remember that your eyes are a mirror. They reflect back what you are feeling inside. If you are feeling judgmental, your eyes will look critical. If you are feeling bored, your eyes will look dull. If you are feeling warm and curious, your eyes will sparkle. This means that the work you do on your inner state directly affects how people perceive you through your eyes. So, before you enter a conversation, take a deep breath and set an intention. Decide that you want to see the good in this person. Decide that you are curious about who they are. When you make this inner shift, your eyes will naturally become warmer and more inviting. You won't have to perform anything. You will simply radiate connection, and people will be drawn to the light they see in you. Chapter 5. The Body Language Blueprint: Standing Tall Without Saying a Word. Imagine you are at a party, and you see two people standing alone on opposite sides of the room. One is slumped against the wall, arms crossed, looking at their phone. The other is standing with their weight evenly balanced, shoulders back but relaxed, with a soft gaze looking around the room. Without talking to either of them, you already have a feeling about who you would rather approach. That is the power of body language. It is the silent conversation you are having with the world before you ever open your mouth. And the crazy thing is, most of us have no idea what we are saying with our bodies. We send signals of insecurity, boredom, or anger without meaning to. This chapter is your blueprint for taking control of that silent conversation and making it work for you. The foundation of confident body language is something called taking up space. When you are nervous, your instinct is to make yourself small. You cross your legs, you hug your arms to your body, you tuck your chin down. You are essentially trying to disappear. But disappearing is the opposite of charisma. Confident people, even quiet ones, take up an appropriate amount of space. They stand with their feet planted about shoulder width apart. They let their arms hang naturally at their sides or use them to gesture openly. They keep their head level and their chin up. This posture is not about being aggressive or dominating. It is simply about saying, "I am here, and I have a right to be here." When you occupy your space fully, you send a signal of quiet self-respect that everyone around you can feel. Your hands are another major part of the blueprint. Nervous hands are a dead giveaway of anxiety. Fidgeting with your hair, tapping your fingers, clicking a pen, or touching your face all scream, "I am uncomfortable." The problem is that when you are nervous, your hands want to move. So what do? You give them a job. When you are standing still, let your hands rest at your sides or clasp them loosely in front of you. When you are speaking, use your hands to gesture. Gestures make you look more animated and passionate. They help you paint pictures with your words. Just make sure your gestures are open, meaning you keep your palms facing up or out. Palms down can look controlling and pointing fingers can look aggressive. Open palms say, "I am honest and I welcome you." Now let's talk about the way you move. Rushing is the enemy of charisma. When you rush, your movements become jerky and frantic. You look like a squirrel crossing a busy street. Instead, practice moving with purpose and calmness. Walk at a steady, relaxed pace. When you sit down, do it smoothly, not like you are collapsing into the chair. When you reach for something, do it with intention. This quality is often called presence or grace, and it is incredibly attractive. It shows that you are not frazzled by the world around you. It shows that you are in control of your own body and your own energy. People will notice this calmness and feel calmer just being near you. You become an anchor in a chaotic world. Your head position also sends powerful signals. When you tilt your head down and look up at someone, it can seem submissive or even suspicious. When you tilt your head back and look down your nose at someone, it seems arrogant and cold. The goal is to keep your head level and your gaze straight ahead. This is the position of equality. It says, I am your peer. We are on the same level. When you are listening to someone, a slight head tilt to the side is actually a good thing. It shows you are engaged and processing. But for the most part, keeping your head straight and level projects a sense of balance and stability. You are neither above nor below anyone else. You are simply here together. Finally, remember to smile with your whole face. We covered the eyes, but your whole face should participate in your expressions. A deadpan face while you are telling a joke will confuse people. A worried face while you are giving a compliment will seem insincere. Let your face be a reflection of your inner warmth. When you are happy, let your cheeks lift. When you are surprised, let your eyebrows rise. When you are thinking, let your brow furrow slightly. This facial animation makes you look alive and engaged. It gives people feedback that helps them feel connected to you. You become readable, and readability builds trust. So stand tall, open your body, move with calm, and let your face tell the truth. Your body is your billboard, so make sure it advertises the real, confident you. Chapter 6. Finding your voice, the music behind the words. Have you ever listened to someone speak and felt yourself getting sleepy? Their voice is flat, monotonous, and lacks any energy. It feels like listening to a robot read a phone book. Now think about someone whose voice you love to hear. Maybe it is a podcaster, a friend, or a great teacher. Their voice has music in it. It goes up and down. It speeds up and slows down. It gets quiet and then loud. This is not something they were born with. It is a skill they developed. Your voice is an instrument, and like any instrument, it can be tuned and played beautifully. Most of us just speak on autopilot, never realizing the power we are leaving on the table. This chapter is about finding the natural music in your voice and using it to captivate any audience, even if that audience is just one person. The first element of vocal music is your pace. Nervous speakers tend to rush. They are so eager to get their words out that they run all their sentences together like one long word. This makes the listener feel anxious and rushed too. On the other hand, speakers who talk too slowly can sound bored or even patronizing. The sweet spot is a conversational pace that varies. Speed up a little when you are sharing exciting news. Slow down dramatically when you are making an important point. Use pauses. Pauses are your secret weapon. When you pause before a keyword, you build suspense. When you pause after a keyword, you let it sink in. Silence, when used well, is more powerful than sound. Practice reading a paragraph out loud and deliberately changing your speed. Notice how it changes the feeling of the words. Next, we have pitch and tone. Pitch is how high or low your voice goes. A voice that stays on one note is called monotone, and it is the fastest way to lose your listener's attention. To add variety, think of your voice like a slide whistle. Let it slide up when you ask a question or express excitement. Let it slide down when you are making a firm statement or expressing seriousness. Your natural pitch is usually the most comfortable and authentic sound you can make. Don't try to force your voice too low to sound more authoritative, and don't let nerves push it too high. Find your natural center and then play within that range. A varied pitch keeps people's ears engaged and curious about what will come next. Volume is another powerful tool in your vocal toolbox. Many people speak too quietly because they are afraid of being heard. This makes them seem unsure of themselves. Others speak too loudly all the time, which can be overwhelming and seem aggressive. The key is to modulate your volume based on the situation. In a one-on-one conversation, a warm, moderate volume works best. It creates intimacy. When you are speaking to a group, you need to project enough that the people in the back can hear you easily. A great trick is to occasionally drop your volume to a near whisper when you are sharing a secret or an important idea. This forces people to lean in, which makes them feel more involved. You are literally drawing them closer with your voice. Your articulation also matters. Mumbling is the enemy of charisma. When you mumble, you are essentially telling people, "My words are not important enough for you to hear clearly." You want to speak crisply, opening your mouth fully and giving each word its due. This does not mean speaking in a stiff, formal way. It just means committing to your words. Imagine you are talking to someone who is hard of hearing or someone who is learning your language. You would naturally speak a little more clearly. Take that same care with everyone you talk to. When you articulate well, you sound more intelligent and more confident. People trust what they can hear and understand clearly. Finally, the most important ingredient in your voice is emotion. People connect with feeling, not perfection. If you are excited, let your voice show it. If you are concerned, let your voice soften. If you are telling a funny story, let a smile come into your voice. Trying to sound perfect often results in sounding robotic and cold. Your voice is a direct line from your heart to the listener's heart. So stop worrying about how you sound and start focusing on what you feel. Record yourself telling a story and listen back. You might cringe at first, but that is normal. Listen for the moments where you sound most alive. Those moments are your true voice. The goal is not to become a different speaker. The goal is to become a braver, more expressive version of the speaker you already are. Chapter 7. The Storytelling Spark, Turning Your Life into a Magnet. Humans are wired for stories. For thousands of years before books and movies and the internet, we sat around fires and told each stories. We learned about the world, about danger, about love through stories. Our brains are literally built to remember information better when it is wrapped in a narrative. Yet when we get into social situations, we forget this ancient truth. We answer questions with one-word answers. We share facts instead of feelings. We give reports instead of telling tales. This is a missed opportunity of epic proportions. When you learn to tell stories, you stop being just another person in the room. You become the person people want to sit next to. You become a magnet. This chapter is about finding the stories hidden in your ordinary life and learning to share them in a way that captivates. The first thing you need to realize is that you already have a million stories inside you. You just don't recognize them yet. You think your life is boring because you compare it to action movies. But stories are not about big explosions and car chases. Stories are about small moments of truth. The time you got lost on a hike and found a beautiful view. The time you tripped in front of your crush in high school. The time your pet did something so funny you cried laughing. The time you failed a test and learned a valuable lesson. These are all stories. They are moments where something changed, where you felt something deeply. Your job is to start noticing these moments in your own life. Keep a mental list of little anecdotes. You never know when the perfect story will be the key to connecting with someone. Now, how do you tell a story well? It starts with setting the scene. Don't just jump into the action. Help your listener see the world you were in. Last summer, I was walking through this tiny village in the mountains and the air smelled like pine trees and rain. That one sentence paints a picture. It transports the listener. When you set the scene, you invite them into your memory with you. You give them the details that make the story real. The best details are the ones that engage the senses. What did you see, hear, smell, or feel? These sensory details are the difference between a boring report and a story that feels like a movie playing in their head. Next, you need to introduce the conflict or the interesting twist. Every good story has a moment where things get interesting. Maybe you got lost. Maybe you said the wrong thing. Maybe you discovered something unexpected. This is the part where your listener leans in. They want to know what happens next. Don't rush through this part. Draw it out a little. Share your feelings in that moment. My heart started pounding because I had no idea where I was and my phone was dead. When you share your vulnerability, your fear, or your excitement, the listener feels it with you. You create an emotional bond. The conflict is what makes the story worth telling. Then comes the resolution. What happened in the end? How did you solve the problem? What did you learn? The resolution gives the story meaning. It answers the unspoken question, why are you telling me this? Maybe the resolution is that you found your way back and discovered a new path you never would have found otherwise. The lesson is that getting lost can lead to beautiful discoveries. Now your story is not just entertaining, it is meaningful. It has a point. And people love stories with a point because they feel like they gained something from listening to you. They learned a little life lesson while being entertained. Finally, practice keeping your stories short and sweet. Nothing kills a story like rambling on forever. Aim for stories that last between 1 and 3 minutes. This is enough time to set the scene, build the tension, and deliver the resolution without losing anyone's attention. Pay attention to your listeners' faces. If their eyes are glazing over, wrap it up quickly. If they are leaning in, you are doing great. Storytelling is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. Start sharing small stories with your friends and family. Notice which ones get the best reactions. Notice what details people remember. You are building a collection of your life's best moments, and sharing them generously is one of the most charismatic things you can do. Chapter 8. The Curiosity Compass: Falling in Love with Strangers. There is a common mistake that people make when they want to be more charismatic. They think they need to be more interesting. They stockpile facts, practice jokes, and try to craft the perfect stories to impress people. But this approach is actually backwards. It puts all the pressure on you to perform. It makes every conversation feel like a job interview where you are trying to get hired. The real secret to charisma is not being interesting. It is being interested. When you shift your focus from impressing others to understanding them, a huge weight lifts off your shoulders. You stop worrying about how you look and start enjoying the fascinating process of discovering who is sitting in front of you. This shift is your curiosity compass, and it will guide you through every social situation with ease. Think about the most curious people you know. They are the ones who ask great questions. They don't interrogate you, they just seem genuinely fascinated by your answers. They want to know what you think, what you love, what makes you tick. Being around them feels good because they make you feel valued. You walk away from a conversation with them feeling smarter and more interesting yourself. That is the gift of a curious person. They don't take anything from you, they give you the chance to shine. And because they gave you that gift, you will always remember them fondly. You will associate them with the positive feeling of being truly seen and appreciated. That is a powerful position to hold in someone's heart. So how do you develop this curiosity compass? It starts with a simple mindset shift. Before you enter any social situation, tell yourself this: every person I meet knows something I don't know. Every person has a story I have never heard. This is actually true. No matter who they are, their life experience is unique. They have grown up in a different family, faced different challenges, and celebrated different joys. When you approach people with this mindset, you stop seeing them as obstacles or audience members. You start seeing them as undiscovered countries waiting to be explored. Every conversation becomes an adventure. You are no longer performing, you are exploring. And exploring is much more fun than performing. Your best tool for exploration is the follow-up question. Most conversations die because people ask surface-level questions and then move on. What do you do? Oh, cool. Next question. But a curious person digs deeper. They ask why and how and what was that like. If someone says they are a teacher, don't just nod. Ask them what subject they love teaching the most and why. Ask them about the funniest thing a student ever said. Ask them what made them want to become a teacher in the first place. These follow-up questions are like little shovels digging for gold. They show that you are truly listening and that you genuinely want to know more. They turn a boring Q&A into a rich, meaningful exchange. Another important aspect of curiosity is dropping your assumptions. We all have a tendency to judge people based on how they look or what they do for a living. We think we already know what they are like. But this assumption is a curiosity killer. It closes your mind before the conversation even starts. Challenge yourself to find the complexity in everyone. The guy in the expensive suit might be secretly terrified of failure. The quiet girl in the corner might have climbed mountains in another country. The boring accountant might paint stunning portraits on the weekends. Everyone is deeper than they first appear. Your job is to be curious enough to find that depth. When you do, you will be rewarded with the most interesting conversations of your life. Finally, remember that curiosity is a practice. Some days you will be tired and self-absorbed and you won't feel like asking questions. That is okay. But on the days you can, try to make one person feel like the most interesting person in the world. Ask them questions. Listen to their answers and ask more. Watch how they light up. Watch how the conversation flows effortlessly. You will leave that interaction feeling energized instead of drained because you weren't trying to be someone else. You were simply enjoying the gift of another human being. That is the magic of the curiosity compass. It points you away from yourself and toward the beautiful, complex world of other people, and in doing so, it makes you unforgettable. Chapter 9. The Empathy Edge, Connecting with Hearts, Not Just Heads. So far, we have talked about warmth, confidence, listening, and curiosity. These are all powerful tools, but they mostly operate on the level of thoughts and behaviors. Now we need to go deeper. We need to go to the heart. This is where empathy lies. Empathy is the ability to feel with someone, not just feel for them. It is the difference between saying, "I'm sorry you are sad," and actually sitting in the sadness with them for a moment. It is the bridge that connects your heart to theirs. In a world that often feels cold and disconnected, a person who can offer true empathy becomes a sanctuary. They become the person you call when things fall apart. They become the person whose presence heals. This is the empathy edge, and it will elevate your charisma to a whole new level. Many people confuse empathy with agreement. They think that if they feel sad with someone, they are endorsing that person's choices or taking on their problems. But empathy is not agreement. It is simply acknowledgement. It is saying, "I see your pain and I honor that it is real for you." You don't have to fix it. You don't have to solve it. You just have to witness it. Think about the last time you were really upset. Did you want advice? Probably not. You probably just wanted someone to sit with you and say, "This really sucks, I'm here." That is empathy. It is a simple presence that says, "You are not alone." And that feeling of not being alone is one of the most powerful human needs there is. So how do you practice empathy? It starts with listening, but we have already covered that. The next step is to try to imagine what the other person is feeling. Put yourself in their shoes. If you lost their job, how would you feel? If their dog just died, what would be going through your mind? This imaginative exercise is like a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. When someone tells you a story, don't just listen to the facts. Listen for the emotion underneath. Is there fear hiding behind their angry words? Is there sadness hiding behind their silence? When you can sense the hidden emotion and name it, you perform a small miracle. You say, "It sounds like you might be feeling really scared about this." When you name their hidden feeling, they feel truly understood. Another key part of empathy is validation. Validation is telling someone that their feelings make sense. You might say, "Anyone would feel angry if that happened to them," or "It is completely normal to feel overwhelmed right now." These statements are like a warm blanket for the soul. They tell the person that they are not crazy for feeling what they feel. In a world where we are often told to calm down or get over it, validation is a rare and precious gift. It allows people to process their emotions instead of suppressing them. When you become someone who validates feelings, people will trust you with their deepest selves. They will know that you are a safe place to land. Empathy also means celebrating with people, not just suffering with them. This is called empathic joy. When your friend gets a promotion, do you feel genuinely happy for them, or does a little jealousy creep in? When you can celebrate someone's success as if it were your own, you create an incredibly strong bond. You show them that your care for them is not conditional. You are happy when they are happy, sad when they are sad. You are on their team always. This consistency of support is the foundation of deep, lasting relationships. People will gravitate toward you because they know you have their back in the good times and the bad times. Finally, remember that empathy requires boundaries. You cannot carry everyone's pain on your shoulders or you will burn out. Empathy is about connecting, not absorbing. You can sit with someone in their sadness without becoming sad yourself. You can hold space for their fear without becoming afraid. Think of yourself as a calm, steady lighthouse. The storm can rage around the lighthouse, but the lighthouse stands firm, shining its light. That is your role. You are a source of steady, compassionate presence. You don't have to fix the storm. You just have to be the light. When you master this balance of deep connection and healthy boundaries, you become a healing presence in the world, and that is the most charismatic thing of all. Chapter 10. Grace Under Fire, Staying Cool When Things Get Hot. Life is not always a smooth ride. There will be moments when things go wrong. The microphone dies during your presentation. Someone says something rude to you at a party. You make a mistake in front of your boss. A friend accuses you of something you didn't do. In these moments, your true character is revealed. Anyone can be charming when the sun is shining, but the people who are truly irresistible are the ones who keep their cool when the storm hits. They are the ones who respond with grace instead of reacting with panic. This quality, this grace under fire, is like a superpower. It makes you the person everyone looks to when things get chaotic. It makes you a natural leader, even if you don't have a title. The first thing to understand is the difference between reacting and responding. A reaction is instant, automatic, and often emotional. Someone insults you, and you instantly feel your face get hot and your mouth open to fire back. A response, on the other hand, has a pause in it. You feel the hot flash of anger, but you take a breath. You give yourself 1 second to choose what happens next. That 1 second is everything. It is the space between the trigger and your action, and in that space lies your freedom. You are no longer a puppet controlled by events. You are a person choosing how to show up. Practicing this pause is the foundation of all grace under fire. It is simple, but it is not easy. It takes practice. One powerful tool to help you find that pause is your breath. When stress hits, your body goes into fight or flight mode. Your breathing becomes shallow and fast. This sends a signal to your brain that danger is present, which makes you even more reactive. But you can interrupt this cycle with one deep breath. A slow, deep breath sends the opposite signal. It tells your nervous system, we are safe. We can handle this. Before you respond to any stressful situation, take a deep breath. Let your shoulders drop. Then, and only then, speak. This simple act will make you look and feel infinitely more composed. You will be amazed at how much clearer your thinking becomes when your body is calm. Another key to grace under fire is to stop taking things personally. This is a tough one, but it is life-changing. When someone is rude or critical, it is almost never about you. It is about them. They are having a bad day. They are carrying their own baggage. They are projecting their own fears onto you. When you remember this, you stop feeling attacked. You can see the other person with compassion instead of defensiveness. You might think, wow, they must be really hurting to act like that. This shift in perspective allows you to respond with kindness instead of anger. And kindness in the face of cruelty is one of the most powerful things in the world. It disarms the other person and makes you look like a true leader. Humor can also be a wonderful tool in hot moments, but it must be used carefully. Gentle, self-deprecating humor can diffuse tension. If you make a mistake, laughing at yourself shows that you are secure enough to not take yourself too seriously. It puts everyone at ease. However, never use humor to mock or belittle someone else, especially in a tense moment. That will only make things worse. The goal is to lighten the mood, not to win an argument. A well-timed, kind joke can transform a room full of tension into a room full of relief. It shows that you are not afraid, that you are still human, and that you can find lightness even in darkness. Finally, remember that grace under fire is a practice, not a perfection. There will be days when you lose your cool. You will say something you regret. You will react instead of respond. When this happens, be kind to yourself. Apologize if you need to, learn the lesson, and move on. Every mistake is a chance to practice doing better next time. The goal is progress, not perfection. As you practice these tools, the pause, the breath, the perspective, the gentle humor, you will find that hot situations bother you less and less. You will become the calm in the storm. And when you are the calm in the storm, people will naturally want to be near you. They will seek your counsel and your presence. You will have become a source of stability in an unstable world. Chapter 11. The Humor Habit, Finding the Funny in the Ordinary. Let's be honest, we all love to laugh. Laughter releases tension, builds bonds, and makes life feel lighter. We are naturally drawn to people who make us laugh. But here is the problem. Most of us think we are just not funny. We believe that humor is a gift you are born with, like blue eyes or perfect pitch. We think you have to be a stand-up comedian to make people laugh. This belief is not only wrong, it is also keeping you from one of the most powerful tools in the charisma code. The truth is, humor is a habit. It is a way of looking at the world, and anyone can develop it. You don't need to tell jokes. You just need to learn to find the funny in the ordinary moments of everyday life. The first step to developing the humor habit is to lower the bar. You are not trying to make people fall on the floor laughing. You are just trying to create little moments of lightness. A small, witty observation is often funnier than a long, rehearsed joke. For example, if you are stuck in traffic, you might say, "Well, I guess we live here now." It is not a hilarious joke, but it acknowledges the shared frustration in a light-hearted way. It makes people smile. That is all you need. When you stop putting pressure on yourself to be a comedian, you free yourself to be playful. And playfulness is the heart of all good humor. It is about not taking life or yourself too seriously. One of the best sources of humor is your own life, especially your mistakes. Self-deprecating humor, when done right, is incredibly endearing. It shows that you are secure enough to laugh at yourself. It makes you human and relatable. When you trip over nothing, instead of getting embarrassed, you can say, "I'm training for the clumsiness Olympics." When you forget something, you can say, "My brain has left the building." This kind of humor disarms people. It tells them that you don't think you are perfect, so they don't have to be perfect around you either. It creates a safe space where everyone can relax. Just be careful not to go too far. Constant self-criticism disguised as humor can make people uncomfortable. Keep it light and occasional. Another great technique is to notice the absurdity in everyday situations. Life is full of silly moments if you pay attention. The way the dog is staring at the wall, the strange name of a product on a shelf, the fact that your phone autocorrected something to a completely wrong word. Pointing out these little absurdities shows that you are awake and present. It invites others to see the world through your playful eyes. It turns a boring wait in line into a shared moment of amusement. These small observations are like little gifts you give to the people around you. They make the mundane more fun. They make you more fun to be around. Timing is also important in humor. The best humor often comes from noticing something in the moment and commenting on it immediately. This is called observational humor, and it feels fresh and spontaneous. It is not a canned joke that you tell regardless of the situation. It is a reaction to what is happening right now. This kind of humor requires you to be fully present. You have to be paying attention to the world around you so you can catch those funny moments as they happen. When you do this well, people will marvel at your quick wit. They won't realize that you are simply paying attention and speaking your mind. Presence is the secret ingredient to great humor. Finally, remember that humor should never hurt. Jokes that punch down, that make fun of someone else's expense, are not charismatic. They are cruel. They might get a laugh, but it will be at the cost of trust and safety. True charisma makes people feel good. So keep your humor kind. Make fun of situations, make fun of yourself, but never make fun of others unless they are clearly in on the joke. When you use humor as a tool to connect and uplift, you become a source of joy. People will seek you out because being around you feels good. And feeling good is the ultimate goal. So start looking for the funny today. It is hiding everywhere, just waiting for you to notice it. Chapter 12. The Spotlight Shift, Shining Your Light on Others. We have spent a lot of time in this book building you up. We have worked on your confidence, your voice, your body language, and your stories. These are all essential parts of the charisma code. But now we come to a paradox. The final secret to being truly irresistible is to stop trying to be the center of attention. The most magnetic people in the world are not the ones who grab the spotlight and hold it for themselves. They are the ones who shine the spotlight on others. They are the ones who make everyone around them feel like stars. When you master this skill, something magical happens. People don't just like you, they love you. They feel amazing around you, and they associate that amazing feeling with your presence. Think about a time when someone gave you credit for something you did. Maybe they praised your idea in a meeting, or they told a group of people about your accomplishment. How did that feel? It felt wonderful, right? You felt seen and appreciated. Now, what did you think of the person who gave you that credit? You probably thought they were pretty great. You felt grateful to them. You wanted to help them in return. This is the power of the spotlight shift. When you generously give away praise and recognition, it does not diminish you. It actually elevates you. You become known as the person who celebrates others. You become a leader who builds people up instead of tearing them down. So how do you practice the spotlight shift in daily life? It starts with simple, specific praise. When you notice someone doing something well, tell them. Don't just say good job. Say, I really loved how you handled that difficult customer. You were so patient and kind. Specific praise is much more powerful because it shows that you were really paying attention. It shows that you see their unique strengths. This kind of recognition can make someone's entire week. It costs you nothing, but it means everything to them. Make it a habit to look for the good in people and to point it out. You will be amazed at how quickly people warm up to you. Another way to shift the spotlight is to ask people for their opinion or expertise. Everyone loves to feel like an expert. When you ask someone for their advice, you are telling them, I value your knowledge, I respect your opinion. This is incredibly flattering. If you are at a party and someone mentions they love gardening, ask them for a tip on keeping plants alive. If a colleague just finished a big project, ask them how they managed their time so well. These questions do not make you look weak or ignorant. They make you look curious and humble. They make the other person feel important. And when you make someone feel important, they will never forget you. You can also shift the spotlight by introducing people to each other. If you know two people who might have something in common, introduce them. Say, Sarah, you have to meet John. He also loves hiking, and I think you two would get along great. When you make this introduction, you are not just connecting two people. You are creating value. You are becoming a hub of connection. People will appreciate you for bringing good people into their lives. They will see you as someone who is generous with your network. This generosity makes you incredibly attractive to others. You become the person who knows everyone and wants everyone to succeed. Finally, remember that the spotlight shift is not about being a doormat. It is not about pretending you have no value. You absolutely have value and your presence matters. The shift is simply about balance. Instead of constantly trying to prove your own worth, you spend a significant amount of your energy recognizing the worth in others. This creates a positive cycle. When you lift others up, they naturally want to lift you up in return. They will sing your praises to others. They will support your goals. You become a leader of a team that is rooting for each other. And that is far more powerful than being a solo star. So go out there and start shining your light on everyone you meet. Watch how the world shines back. Chapter 13. Authenticity Unleashed, the Power of Being Unapologetically You. We have reached a critical point in our journey together. We have learned so many skills and techniques. We know how to listen, how to speak, how to move, and how to connect. But there is a danger here. The danger is that we start to perform. We start using these techniques like a mask, hiding the real person underneath. And people can smell a fake from a mile away. They might not know exactly what is wrong, but they will feel it. They will feel that you are not quite real. That is why this chapter is the most important one in the book. Authenticity is the glue that holds all the other skills together. Without it, you are just an actor reading lines. With it, you become an unstoppable force of genuine connection. Authenticity simply means that your outside matches your inside. It means that what you say, how you act, and how you feel are all aligned. When you are authentic, you don't have to remember which mask you are wearing. You don't have to worry about being caught in a lie. You can just be. And being is so much easier than performing. Think about the most authentic people you know. They are not perfect. They have flaws. They say the wrong things sometimes. But you love them anyway because they are real. Their realness is refreshing in a world full of filters and facades. You trust them because you know they are not trying to sell you something. They are just being themselves. The biggest barrier to authenticity is the fear of judgment. We are terrified that if people see the real us, they won't like us. So we hide our quirks, our weird interests, our unpopular opinions. We try to be a generic, likable version of a person. But here is the truth. Generic is forgettable. When you try to be everything to everyone, you become nothing to no one. Your quirks, your unique perspectives, your strange hobbies, these are not bugs in your software. They are features. They are what make you different from the 8 billion other people on this planet. Embracing them is not just okay, it is essential. Your uniqueness is your superpower. Authenticity also means being honest about your feelings, but in a kind and appropriate way. If you are feeling sad, it is okay to admit it. If you are feeling overwhelmed, it is okay to say so. You don't have to dump your emotions on everyone, but you can let people in. When you share your real feelings, you give others permission to share theirs. You create a space where realness is welcome. This vulnerability is not weakness. It is actually a sign of tremendous strength. It takes courage to let people see that you are human. And courage is one of the most attractive qualities a person can have. Another aspect of authenticity is honoring your own values and opinions. It is easy to just agree with everyone to keep the peace. But a person who never disagrees, who never has a strong opinion, becomes boring. They become a pushover. You can disagree with someone respectfully. You can say, "That is an interesting point. I see it a little differently." This shows that you have a backbone, that you have your own mind. People respect that even if they disagree with you. They know where you stand. They don't have to guess. This clarity is a form of respect you give to both yourself and others. Finally, remember that authenticity is a practice, not a destination. Some days you will be more authentic than others. Some situations will be harder than others. That is okay. The goal is to slowly, day by day, let more of the real you show up in the world. Start small. Share a slightly more honest opinion with a friend. Wear that shirt you like even if it is a little weird. Admit you don't know something instead of pretending. Each time you do this, you build the muscle of authenticity. And as that muscle grows, you will find that life gets easier. You will attract people who like you for you, not for the character you were playing. And that is the greatest gift of all. Chapter 14. The Exit Strategy, Leaving People Wanting More. We have spent a lot of time learning how to start conversations and build connections. But there is another side to every interaction that is just as important: the ending. How you leave a conversation determines how people remember you. You can have a wonderful 20-minute chat, but if you end it awkwardly, that awkwardness will be the last thing they remember. On the other hand, a graceful exit can leave people with a warm, positive feeling that makes them excited to see you again. The exit is your final impression, and final impressions stick. This chapter is about mastering the art of leaving people wanting more, not less. The first rule of a good exit is to never just disappear. We have all been in conversations where we turn around and the other person is just gone. It feels rude and confusing. It makes you wonder if you said something wrong. A charismatic person never does this. They always signal their departure. They give the other person a moment to prepare for the conversation to end. This simple act of consideration shows respect. It tells the other person, "You matter to me, even as I leave." A quick signal like, "Well, I should probably let you get back to your friends," or "I'm going to grab another drink before they close the bar," is all it takes. It is a gentle heads-up that the end is near. The second rule is to always express genuine appreciation. Before you walk away, take a moment to thank the person for the conversation, but be specific. Don't just say, "Nice talking to you." Say something like, "I really enjoyed hearing about your trip to Japan. It sounds amazing," or "Your advice on gardening was so helpful, thank you." This specific appreciation shows that you were truly listening and that you valued the time you spent together. It leaves the other person feeling seen and appreciated. It turns a simple goodbye into a warm, memorable moment. They will walk away from that interaction feeling good about themselves, and they will associate that good feeling with you. The third rule is to end on a positive and forward-looking note. If possible, hint at a future connection. You don't have to make concrete plans, just a simple, "I hope we run into each other again," or "Good luck with that project you mentioned, I'd love to hear how it goes," plants a seed for the future. It suggests that this connection was not just a one-time thing. It opens a door. This leaves the person with a sense of possibility. They might even seek you out later to continue the conversation. You have created a small bridge between this moment and the next time you might meet. Timing is also crucial in a good exit. The best time to leave is when the conversation is still going well. This sounds counterintuitive. We tend to stay until the conversation has died, until there is an awkward silence, and then we escape. But by then, it is too late. The last few minutes have been awkward, and that awkwardness lingers. Instead, learn to leave at the peak. When you have just shared a laugh or after you have made an interesting point, that is the perfect moment to gracefully exit. You leave them on a high note. They are left thinking, "That was fun. I wish we could have talked longer." That feeling of wishing for more is exactly what you want. It makes them eager for your next encounter. Finally, always combine these elements into a smooth, natural flow. Signal your departure, express specific appreciation, and offer a positive look to the future. Then walk away with confidence. Don't linger or look back awkwardly. Just go. You have done your part. You have given them a wonderful conversation and a graceful, memorable ending. This skill takes practice, but it is worth its weight in gold. When you master the exit strategy, you ensure that every interaction ends on a high note. You become the person everyone loves to talk to, and the person everyone is always happy to see again. Your presence becomes something they look forward to, not something they endure. Chapter 15. The Ripple Effect, Becoming a Force of Positive Energy. We have arrived at the final chapter of our journey. You have learned the code. You understand warmth, confidence, listening, storytelling, empathy, and authenticity. You know how to enter a room, how to connect deeply, and how to leave gracefully. But now we need to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. This is not just about making yourself more likable or successful. This is about something much bigger. When you embody these principles, you become a force of positive energy in the world. And that energy creates ripples. It spreads from you to everyone you meet, and from them to everyone they meet. You have the power to start a chain reaction of connection and kindness, simply by showing up as your best self. Think about the impact one person can have. Think about a teacher who believed in you or a friend who was there when you needed them. That one person changed your life, and because they changed your life, you have gone on to affect others. That is the ripple effect. It is the idea that our actions, no matter how small, echo far beyond what we can see. When you choose to be warm to a stressed-out cashier, you might turn their whole day around. They go home and are kinder to their family because of you. When you listen deeply to a friend who is struggling, you give them the strength to keep going. They then have the energy to help someone else. You may never see the full extent of your ripples, but they are real. Living the Charisma Code means making a daily commitment to be a positive presence. It means choosing over and over again to see the good in people. It means using your voice to lift others up, not tear them down. It means offering your attention as a gift. This is not always easy. There will be days when you are tired, grumpy, and self-absorbed. On those days, you won't create many ripples, and that is okay. You are human. But on the days you can, you show up. You try. You connect. And over time, those days add up. You build a life of meaningful connections. You become known as someone who makes the world a little bit better just by being in it. This approach also changes how you see strangers. They are no longer background noise in your life. They are opportunities. Every person you pass on the street, every person you sit next to on the bus, every person you wait in line with is a chance to create a ripple. A simple smile, a kind word, a moment of genuine eye contact. You never know what someone is going through. Your small act of warmth might be the only kindness they experience all day. That is a powerful thought. It turns every interaction into something sacred. It gives your life meaning and purpose far beyond your own personal goals. The ripple effect also applies to how you treat yourself. When you practice self-compassion and build your own confidence, you are creating a ripple inside yourself. That inner peace radiates outward. You cannot give what you do not have. So by taking care of your own heart, you are actually taking care of everyone you will ever meet. You are filling your own cup so that you can pour into others. This is not selfishness. It is self-preservation. It is the foundation of sustainable charisma. You have to be your own first source of warmth and kindness. As you close this book and go out into the world, remember that you are now carrying the code. You have the tools to unlock something beautiful in yourself and in others. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it generously. Be the person who starts the ripple. Be the person who makes others feel seen, heard, and valued. Be the person who walks into a room and makes it warmer just by being there. That is the true meaning of charisma. It is not about you. It is about the energy you create that flows through you and into the world. You are now ready to become that force. The ripples start today. Conclusion. We have walked a long and exciting path together, and now you hold the complete charisma code in your hands. But remember, reading about these skills is not the same as living them. A book on swimming will not keep you afloat. You have to get in the water. The same is true here. The real work and the real fun begins now. Start small. Pick one chapter that spoke to you the most and practice that skill today. Maybe it is the warmth switch. Maybe it is the listening superpower. Whatever it is, take it for a test drive in the real world. Notice how people respond. Notice how you feel. Each small success will build your confidence and motivate you to try the next skill. This is a lifelong practice, not a one-time fix. Be patient with yourself and celebrate every step forward. The world is starving for connection. It is starving for people who are real, who listen, who care, and who make others feel safe. You now have the ability to be that person for everyone you meet. You have the power to transform ordinary moments into meaningful connections. You have the power to lift people up, to calm storms, and to spread ripples of kindness that you may never even see. This is not just a set of social tricks. This is a way of living. It is a choice to show up fully, to be brave enough to be yourself, and to offer your presence as a gift. So go ahead, step into the world with your new code. Let your warmth shine. Let your confidence grow. Let your curiosity lead you. You are ready. The code is yours, and the world is waiting for the real, irresistible you.